Hello queens, angels, and goddesses. Welcome back to my channel. Warning: this contains boy love, and if you don't like it then please get off my channel. Water pistol. Grinning face with cowboy hat. Lev wasn't quite sure what went wrong with the mission. It was supposed to be simple. Yet here he was, standing idle under the flickering light of a single street lamp, the lifeless bodies of Nakoma's agents at his feet. If he hadn't been that 2 feet behind, he would have been down there with them. Lev shuddered at the thought. He clutched the gash on his side, staining his hand a deep red. It was sticky and warm and he should probably do something to stop the bleeding, but his focus remained on the smiling figure in front of him. Yaku Morisuk, leader of a rival gang known throughout the city for their toxic and disturbing crimes. Like Nakoma, they were quiet, capable, and had never been caught. The average person had a less than 1% chance of ever running into them, but Lev supposed he was no average person. After all, you wouldn't find Mrs. Baker from down the road running through the back alleys with guns and swords, now would you? The shorter's eyes scanned his figure, casually leaning against his katana as if he hadn't just single-handedly killed the half-Russian's entire clan without so much as a second glance. The intensity of his stare was unsettling, yet Lev wasn't unnerved. After every time they'd clashed with Yaku and his team, Lev had grown used to the feeling of those brown orbs on his, and in a way had come to like it. Not the best decision on his part, really. Yaku took a few steps forward and Lev's heart caught in his throat. What was Yaku about to do? Was he about to die too? He had seen the enticing was that the other moved, and knew exactly how skilled he was with the blade in his hand. He had yet to be on the receiving end though, and that notion was the only thing on his mind. He had expected to be stabbed, slashed, dismembered, killed in the way he most feared. What he did not expect was to be yanked downwards by the collar so he was eye level with the older, a small hand cupping his cheek and wiping away a few stray drops of blood. That's better. Lev's eyes widened at the soft tone of voice Yaku used. We can't have all that disgusting red all over your face. It doesn't suit you. With how heavily his heart seemed to be beating, Lev was almost positive the leather-clad male could feel it through his gloves. He found himself unable to look away. Neither one of them pulled away. He knew he should say something, but he blanked. Huh? Yaku chuckled affectionately. I can't have blood I spilled tainting you. Lev blinked. Once. Twice. 3 times. Amused at his apparent confusion, Yaku grabbed Lev's tie and pulled him closer again. I've had me eye on you for a while now. Your beauty is ethereal, Levyaku. The taller startled at the use of his full name, and he wondered exactly how Yaku had gotten his hands on that information. He decided he probably didn't want to know. Hang on, what did he mean by had his eyes on him? You are, what? Come on Haber, you can do better than that. Come back with me. He was inches from the brunette's lips now, and it took everything he had to resist the urge to kiss him. You don't need those stupid cats anymore. Lev stared. All those stupid cats had just been struck down by the very sword that had just been dropped by his feet. The evidence of his friend's bloody remains had been completely erased from the metal. He hadn't known the other had the capabilities to take down them all. Kyoru-san, the leader and one of the most skilled marksmen Lev had ever met. Kai, the second in command who was always there to provide cover. Yamamoto, the short-tempered weapons expert who always had a trick up his sleeve. Fukunaga, Inuoka, Tishio and Shibayama. Even Kenma had gone silent over the cons. The lone man in front of him had taken them all. Why did he let him live? Why was he asking one of Nakoma's youngest to drop everything and go with him? And what if he were to accept? Who knew what gruesome fate awaited him once they arrived at Toxic Space? He knew it was stupid, he knew it was reckless, and he'd most likely be signing his death certificate, but he almost considered saying yes. Yaku was growing impatient. He wanted this Russian gem so badly, but he had yet to receive an answer from him. From the first time he'd run into Haber, the awkward beauty had been the only thing on his mind. He had formulated the perfect plan to take him for himself, but then those damn cats were apparently rather protective of him, and had tried to get in his way again. Yaku could not have that, so they all had to go. The green-eyed boy gazed at him curiously, as if questioning Yaku's sanity. Answer me something, Yaku-san. His voice was barely audible, and had Morisuke not been standing so close to him, he doubted he would have heard him. Yes? Why me? Though he would never admit it, the question took him by surprise. Why wouldn't he want Levyaku? Even with his clumsy nature, everything he did had a certain grace to it. Every detail he could see or find about the other intrigued him, and the image this angel of a man lived within his mind all hours of the day. He had done everything in his power to eliminate all possible obstacles he faced to get to Haber. He was his precious emerald, and Morisuke swore that he would fight for him for the rest of his life. He locked eyes with the taller and did his best to convey how much the cat mattered to him. Will you trust me, Levyaku? Lev knew he shouldn't, that this was all probably a trap, but the intensity of Yaku's gaze had him weak at the knees. When exactly had he fallen for this man? Screw it, he decided he had nothing else to lose. I'll trust you. Yaku smirked and edged closer to him yet again. Their breaths mingled, and neither could hear anything beneath the pounding of their hearts in their ears. Their lips met, and any doubts Lev had completely vanished. He knew it was a bad decision, and Morisuke would probably be the death of him. But in this moment, even between his still, murdered friends, he allowed himself to be pulled along by the sleeve towards a back alley. He would make sure the memory of his team lived on, even after all they had done. Yaku turned to face him, a sly smirk gracing his features as he looked at who was now his. In his line of work, emotions were rarely a thing he would allow to slow him down. With Haber, however, he was prepared to make an exception. Heading for the shortest route to the hideout, the two agents pondered what was to happen next. This way, he gestured in the vague direction of a run-down path between two buildings. It's not too far now. The smile Lev sent him rivaled the sun, and Yaku was fully prepared to watch the entire wood burn for his emerald. He wouldn't allow any harm to come to him if it cost him his life. Love you, Yaku-san. Warning: this fanfiction does not belong to me, neither does the fan art. Credits to the original artist and author to the fan art and the fanfiction. Haikyuu does not belong to me either. Well, bye children, smiling face with hearts.